So much. So tomorrow, it is Election Day. Polls in New York will be open from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. You got the whole day to vote. Voters in the city will have 4 ballot measures to consider alongside their choices of candidate vying for city, state, and federal offices.
So joining us right now with some important voting information, Deborah Brodheim, Co-President of the League of Women Voters of the City of New York. Nice to have you on Good Day New York.
Nice to be here. Good morning.
So we just finished up early voting. How does it look? What are the numbers? My friend Amy went to vote on the Upper East Side last night. She said the line was around the block.
A lot of people are taking advantage of early voting. You were reporting earlier that over 430,000 people voted early in New York City, which is fantastic.
Is that a good number? Is that a record number? Or
we'll find out. You know, the statistics come out after the election, but it's great that people are taking advantage of early voting. We encourage that. But tomorrow's Election Day. This is your chance, your last chance to vote, if you will. And even for those who have requested an absentee ballot, you can bring that to the poll site as well and cast your absentee ballot if you haven't put it in the mail
Just
yet.
make sure you don't do two things. Send in the absentee ballot and vote. Okay,
well,
Deborah?
They'll catch that if there's a problem. Don't worry.
I hope so.
No one
I hope so. Why don't they ask for ID? I mean, they ask you for your name. They ask you for your birth date. I think maybe your address. But they don't ask for, I mean, you go to Costco. They ask you for an ID.
When in New York State, the Board of Elections, at the time that you register, you provide information about your eligibility to vote, and then it's checked against that at the time that you vote in the poll book.
Yeah, it's interesting because I was kind of looking at that. I had a Florida driver's license, which I didn't update. But you can also just provide proof of any kind of bill and show that as an eligibility to vote, which is interesting. And it's, you know, they do different things differently this way. But I do want to ask, I know for a lot of us procrastinators, me included, however, I didn't do that this year. We kind of got in there early on Friday. What about the people going tomorrow? What are some of the things that they need to know?
The most important thing, as you said, the polls open at 6 a.m. and they close at 9 p.m. If you're in line at 9 p.m., you will have the opportunity to cast your ballot. We recommend making a voting plan. Find out you can go online to the Board of Elections, vote.nyc, and find out where your poll site is. Ensure you go to the right poll site that's associated with your current address, and that will tell you. You can even on the Board of Elections website, you can even download a sample ballot and see what's on the ballot. You can print that out and bring that with you to the poll once you've made your decisions about the candidates you're going to vote for. And again, don't forget those ballot proposals that we talked about.
On the backside.
Flip your ballot. There are 4 ballot proposals for New York City voters this year.
Can you kind of break down some of those 4 proposals that people can...
Sure. The first ballot proposal is an Environmental Bond Act. That's actually for all statewide voters. We'll be voting on that in New York State.
What does that mean exactly?
It is, the Bond Act is in order to allow the state to borrow money to be able to put in place climate resiliency and other environmental borrowing in order to make
so they got to borrow
projects.
money. Okay, great.
To be able, actually, it allows us to be able to match funds that the federal government has made available. That's again, you can find information. We have nonpartisan. We have an explainer, if you will, pros and cons on our website, which is LWVNYC.org.
I like that you put the cons in there because when you read the proposals, they all sound great. However, we do know it's going to cost like $4.2 billion.
It's important that voters understand all of the information about what's on the ballot, and we endeavor to provide nonpartisan information to help voters understand what the questions are.
All right, let's talk about Proposal 2. Adding a statement of value to guide government?
There are, that's a great question. There are 3 New York City specific ballot initiatives that are on the ballot. The first one is to add a preamble to the New York City Charter, which is the equivalent of the New York City Constitution, if you will. The second one is to establish a Department of and an Office of Racial Equity, and the third is to calculate the true cost of living in New York City.
Wait a second, because if they don't know what the true cost of living in New York City, nothing will ever help them. I mean, come on.
Yeah,
we
that's
need
a big one.
We need a proposal to figure out the true cost of
These you can find out more about the ballot proposals on our website. We've got, again, the pros and cons to help to understand them, and we encourage voters. But there's a lot on the ballot. Be sure that it's both federal government races and state government races.
Right.
In Brooklyn, you've got a lot of races as well. You need to two-page ballot, even more. So be sure that
flip it over, not flip them off.
Flip the ballot.
Thank you so much, Deborah Brodheim, co-president of the League of Women Voters. We appreciate New York City.
Thank you so much.
And we love your pin. I mean, I wish we got one of those if I voted.
You got a brand right.
That's really
right?
nice. Yes, there we
One
go.
of those stickers.
She just got a sticker. Yeah, come on.
Thank you so much.
All right, get out and vote.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, coming up, Tina Savasio has sports.